Hey there, this is Thompson Long, and I'm going to be talking about my Life is Strange video review. You can see it here. This is the video game, and I used Camtasia and a video editing software to create it. So I want to start with my script. Um, this really comes in three points. There's a review, like the overview of the game, the criticism, what I found to be wrong with the game, and then the literature question. This one right here. And this is the one that I think is really unique to this Life is Strange. Because it begs the question, is this scholarly review? And it's hard to say. I happen to think it is. But going through this game was anything but easy for me. I'm not an avid gamer, and this wasn't necessarily a storyline that immediately reached out and grabbed my attention. However, as I continued to play it, I really enjoyed this game. It has won a lot of awards, and you can tell how much cinematic and literary value it actually has the farther you go in the game. You come to understand this is really complex and far, far out of the realm of what we typically consider to be video games. So, my first draft was difficult, to say the least. I had all these clips of the game that I wanted to share, and unfortunately, none of them really went well together. It was choppy. The visuals didn't necessarily meet the audio that I had for it. I knew what I wanted to say, and I knew what images I wanted to use, but I couldn't necessarily get them to overlap. And what I came to understand was that the game, the visuals of the game spoke for themselves, and it was my job to provide a review. And so, as much as I wanted to include a lot of the video audio because I thought it added to the imagery, I recognized that it needed to be my voice ultimately that was the dominating factor of this review. So that's what I primarily did in my draft. I tried to clean up some of the transitions. That's one thing about Camtasia that can be tough is you begin to be really, really conscious of these slight splits and these, slight chips in the recording. And it really makes you kind of obsessive over getting it right. And it becomes really fun because you get really invested in the final project. I'm now going to play for you my final draft. Hi there, this is Thompson Long, and I'm going to be talking about Life is Strange, the episodic graphic adventure video game that was developed by Dontnod Entertainment and was published by Square Enix. The game was developed for Microsoft Windows, PlayStation, Xbox, and the game was released in 5 parts during 2015. I want to preface my review by saying that I'm not a video game connoisseur, especially in the PC realm. That being said, so it's funny. You never hate hearing your own voice in recordings. It's something I think, no matter how many times it happens, you never really get used to it. And I think that's certainly the case in this class. I still don't enjoy hearing the recording of my own voice. But you can see here that I had designed my script in such a way that I could parcel out the sound bites in long periods of time. And so once I had done that, it really came down to just choosing some imagery that matched it. And in this case, because I'm not overlapping noise, it's not a really big issue. I just wanted to make sure that one, I didn't give too much away with what I was showing, and two, that I gave an accurate depiction of the game. And so you can see here the chapter-based aspect of it, and here in certain parts you'll begin to see the butterfly effect, and that takes shape, but I tried not to give anything away in this scene. And then finally, you get towards the end, and this is where the real question of Life is Strange takes place, which is how do we consider it as far as literature? And that's something that Professor Anderson really wanted me to do, and I agreed with because I think that's the interesting question about this. and it's something that hasn't really been discussed or explored much. And I think as years come on and there's new advancements in this genre of storytelling, I think we'll see more and more people will start to consider this possible video epic novel as a realistic and worthy point of study as far as storytelling and literature is concerned. Ultimately, I really enjoyed this project. It was a lot of fun to do. At times, it was difficult to get through the game. There's a lot of choices to be made, and you have to sit down and decide that you're going to get through. But when you do, you really come to enjoy it. And it's much more like reading a book than it is playing Madden or a 2K. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.